Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating paradoxes in comics, a superhero who genuinely doesn't believe in saving the world. We're talking about Vath-kon, the Quantum Wraith. He's a Kryptonian vigilante who forces us to ask a really tough question. What good is making a choice if you're absolutely convinced that nothing matters anyway?
And this line, this is where it all starts. It's not a hero hearing praise, it's him being recognized by the story's main villain. This one quote sets up a conflict that's so much bigger than just good versus evil. No, this is about an entire ideology staring its own terrifying reflection right in the face. This is not going to be a battle of fists, it's a battle for the soul.
So let's meet our prophet of nothingness, the Quantum Wraith. His name is Vath-kon, and he's a Kryptonian who haunts the grimy, corrupt streets of Neo Gotham. But you gotta understand, he is not your typical hero in a cape. Not even close. He's driven by a philosophy that is just bleak, and he is completely uncompromising about it.
And this is it. This is the core of his entire being, Kryptonian nihilism. Now, this isn't just him having a bad day. You can think of it as his entire operating system. The belief that any effort, any striving is completely pointless. It dictates every single thing he does, and it leads him to what the comics call a state of absolute detachment. He is totally disconnected, emotionally and morally, from the world he's walking through.
And believe me, this philosophy isn't just something he thinks about, it's something he does. His powers are a direct reflection of it. See, he's powered by nuclear waste, and he uses this nuclear vision, basically controlled gamma-ray bursts, not for a quick kill, but to cause accelerated decay. He literally makes his targets look decades older in an instant. It's his way of sending a message. In the end, everything just withers and falls apart anyway.
Sooner or later, every belief system gets put to the test, and for Vath-kon, that test has a name, Dr. Aerys Thorne. Now, Thorne isn't just some opposing villain, oh no, it's much more twisted than that. He's a mirror, showing Vath-kon his own beliefs in their most extreme, horrifying form.
And just look at this horrifying symmetry. Vath-kon thinks humanity is futile, while Thorne creates the Event Horizon Protocol to prove him right. This thing isn't just a bomb, it's a device designed to trigger a slow, agonizing genocide by radiating the entire eastern seaboard. Thorne has basically taken every dark thought inside Vath-kon's head and turned it into a weapon of mass destruction.
And this is the moment the whole story pivots. Because when Vath-kon is confronted with this plan, he freezes. He's not stunned by a weapon, he's paralyzed by an argument. Thorne's twisted logic is a perfect echo of his own internal monologue. And for one terrifying moment, a part of Vath-kon secretly agrees with him that maybe this global collapse is actually justified.
And that brings us to the core paradox of this entire story. To stop the ultimate expression of nihilism, the nihilist himself is forced to do the one thing he despises. He's forced to strive. He has to try. He has to care. The very action his philosophy says is pointless becomes the only thing he can do. The battle of ideas is about to get very, very physical.
So he has to adapt. The fight actually goes down at the old nuclear site where he first got his powers. When his normal attacks don't work on shielded drones, he's forced to use his bizarre ice-cold fire breath to flash freeze them. When Thorne floods the room with raw radiation, what does he do? He absorbs it, weaponizes it, and fires it back as nuclear fission blasts. Every single move is a desperate act of trying. And then comes the final move, and it's the most telling one of all. He doesn't target Thorne, he targets the machine.
So let's just break down the genius of that final act. He unleashes his kryptonite energy blast, the one thing that is pure poison to him, and points it at the device. This anti-Kryptonian energy slams into all that pro-Kryptonian nuclear fuel he just absorbed, and it creates this insane, violent feedback loop that just cancels out the whole catastrophe. He literally uses his own self-destruction to preserve thousands of lives.
The battle outside is over, but the war inside him, that just came to a shocking conclusion. Vath-kon is now left with this really uncomfortable truth. His own actions have just completely torpedoed his entire identity. He chose to save people. He chose to create a future, and now he has to somehow live with that choice.
And this is it. This is the profound lesson he's forced to learn. Maybe on the grand cosmic scale, the universe is meaningless. Maybe nothing we do matters to the stars. But that void doesn't have to be the end of the story. The real power, the ultimate power, is the choice we make to create our own meaning right here, right now. I love this metaphor from the writers. Think about it. Vath-kon was like a machine built for one purpose, entropy and decay. But when he was pushed to his absolute limit, that machine chose, consciously, to rewire itself for creation. The dark nihilistic programming is still there, but the purpose that drives it, that has fundamentally changed forever.
Now, don't get it twisted. This doesn't mean he puts on a bright costume and becomes a Boy Scout. No way. He goes right back to his violent, shadowy life as a vigilante. But now he's carrying this new burden. He's not the prophet of nihilism anymore. He's something more complicated. He's a man who now understands that sometimes you have to fight for things that matter, even if a part of you still screams that nothing matters at all.
And that just leaves us with this one final, fascinating thought to chew on. If we accept the premise, just for a second, that the universe has no built-in meaning, does that mean our choice to create it anyway? To love, to build, to protect each other? Is that the only real superpower any of us truly have?